All right, what's good, my peeps? So today we're gonna make a delicious, creamy Southern lima beans recipe. If you've had butter beans, lima beans are the same. I'm using the smaller green ones. You may be used to the larger kind of off-white, cream colored beans, but same family, same taste, just different shape, different color. Ingredients today, I got my lima beans, got a homemade chicken stock, you can use store-bought. My spice mix is pretty simple. Paprika, salt, pepper, and a little bit of allspice. This is gonna have a Caribbean vibe to it, mixed with Southern. You know, I like to blend cultures and cuisine together. I got some Trinidad green seasoning. It's just a seasoning base, kind of like the sofrito, but you know, very common in Caribbean cuisine. I added some red and yellow and orange bell peppers, more for color. You know, we eat with our eyes as well as our nose and mouth and ears, so I want to make sure I have that color element. Then I got my typical garlic, yellow onions, and then my smoked meat of choice is going to be some turkey legs that I'm going to both cook whole, but also blend up a little bit or grind up a little bit into smaller pieces. It's a really easy dish, literally. This is one of those low and slow bean dishes, which I kind of love. It's my favorite kind of cooking. So let's get to it right about now. I'm just gonna cut some pieces off the leg, then I'm gonna grind that up. Like I mentioned before, you know, this is one of those flavor hacks that I like to add to level things up a little bit. All right, here we go. That's about the consistency you want. Like I said, we want it to like be one with the bean, so more on the smaller side. Got a loose skin, you can pick that out, throw it out, or you can include it in your pot if you want. I'm gonna start with my drumsticks. Basically, I just want to brown these a little bit on all sides. The goal is to render some of the fat, because I'm gonna use that rendered fat to flavor my onions and vegetables when I start to add them, right? Because the goal is to have layers of flavor on top of layers, and that's what we're going with. So we start with the, you know, browning the meat to get things started. Just remember, really, you're trying to render the fat. These are already smoked, so you don't have to like worry about cooking them until they're done. You just want to render that fat for flavor. I think these are ready to come out. They got a nice little brown on them. I got a little bit of fat in there. I might need to add a little more for these onions. So I'm gonna add a little more oil, you know, because I didn't render enough. That's cool. Still gonna be a lot of flavor there. So we're gonna get started with the onions first. We don't have to cook these for a long time. We just let them saute for about 2, maybe 3 minutes. Just get some of that raw onion flavor out a little bit, and also have them change the color, you know, just a little bit. So now I'm going to add my garlic and those peppers. I don't want these to cook that long. The garlic will burn, so no more than a minute, really about 30 seconds. And with the peppers, if I want the color to still be, you know, pretty vivid, I'm only going to cook those for about 30 seconds as well. I also like to add some of the spices as I go, because the heat releases the flavor and kind of intensifies things a little more. And so again, if we're trying to layer flavors in this dish, you got to be mindful of like when you add certain ingredients. And so with spices, you can add some early, add some midway, and then closer to the end, and it will kind of have that layer effect. It's smelling really, really good. Yep, this is gonna be fire. I got my ground up turkey legs. I'm gonna add it back in. I'm gonna check for some, make sure I don't have any bones or cartilage in here. So My hands are clean, don't sweat it. And then just mix that in. Yeah. I'm gonna leave some of the skin in there. The fat of that skin will continue to add flavor. I say that word a lot, huh? Flavor, yeah, because that's what I do. Lots of flavor. All right, so that's cooked well enough. I'm gonna start adding my final ingredients. My lima beans. So I use frozen lima beans that I just thawed out. You can use canned or you can use fresh, whatever you have available to you. You just have to adjust the cooking time depending on which type of lima beans that you use. So I want those beans just to get a little bit of that infused oil flavor. Get a little coat, right? I stir a lot to make sure the flavors mix in well. So I'm gonna add my green seasoning now, my flavor base. I'm gonna add some more of the spice mix. I'm gonna add some chicken stock. You can use store-bought or homemade, whatever you roll with. Obviously, that's probably not enough. That was about 2 cups, which I'm good with, because the rest I'm just gonna add water to make sure the beans are fully submerged by the time I start cooking them fully. Now I'm just gonna mix this together, and then I'll add in, I think that's probably gonna do the trick. Yep, that's the right consistency I want. Now I'm gonna add the turkey legs to the dish. Bring things up to a boil. And then I'm just gonna simmer for a spell. And we're gonna be good to go. That's it. I mean, as you can see, it's a really easy cooking technique. It's just chopping and then cooking slow. So that's what we're working with. While that comes up to temperature, I think I'm gonna have me a beverage, maybe catch up on some email, watch a little TV, you know, that's what's up. All right, I'm gonna cook these simmered, cover it at a low simmer. Cook them as long as you need to, depending on your preferred level of creaminess. If you still want, you know, some people like theirs, like me, I want my beans to be intact. Other people like theirs to like basically disintegrate and break down fully, so you get like that really creamy. I'm kind of in the middle. I want a little bit of creamy, I want a little bit of texture. And so that's what I'm going for. So this is probably, I don't know, we'll see, but maybe an hour-long cook, because these are, you know, frozen from fresh. But if you have cans, it's probably like less time, depending on like what you're going for, right? So if you're starting with like dry beans that you soak overnight, it's going to take a longer cook, you know, slightly longer than, you know, starting with your frozen fresh, right? So it may be an hour and a half to 2 hours, or 2.5, depending on, again, that creaminess you're going for. That's it. As I take a look, you can see the meat pull away from the bone. That's a good sign. So this is where I'm gonna pull things. I'm gonna take the bones out, pull the meat away from the bone, and then add it back to it, add it back in. So you can see the meat like literally pulls away from the bone. So it's pretty tender. And again, you just want to make sure that you don't leave any, see that, like cartilage or bones in the pot. So make sure you clear all of that out. And you can see there's still a fair amount of liquid, you know, in here. If you want, you can take some of the beans out and mash them up and add it back in to create more thickness, or you can make a slurry with just like some water and cornstarch mixed together and add it back in, and it will thicken things up. Or like me, if you have time, You can just allow it to continue to cook, and eventually the beans will start to, the beans will start to break down and thicken things up. That's it. So I'm just going to add some of those chunks back in. So I'm going to add the meat back without the bone, and then I'm going to let it cook down some more because I want it a little more thicker. But the flavor is there that I want, and the smells is great too. It's all kind of smells there. See how tender that is? That's going to be fun to eat. I got all of it. So I'm just going to mix it back all together. Look at that. Look at that. Whoa, yeah. Smells really, really good. Really, really good. I'm going to let that cook for 3 more minutes. And then we're good. It's got the smells. Definitely got the smells. Looks tasty. I'm sure it's gonna be delicious. Yes, 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 baby. All right. So we are good to go. I'm gonna serve this up. Why not? Put it over some rice. Top it with some cornbread. Bring a little hot sauce to the mix. It's a good look. That's what's up. That's what's up. So, all right, let's get to it. These are ready to serve. You can serve these with some grits or rice, which is what I did here. I just made a nice simple rice dish. Topped it off with the beans. Worked great. Yeah, the rice just soaks up all of that flavor from the gravy and the beans. And so good. That is so good. So good. Try with a little hot sauce. This is homemade hot sauce. I keep on hand. So good. Wow. Really don't even need the hot sauce, but you know, let's have it. As usual, if you like the dish, give it a like or a thumbs up. Leave a comment, but most importantly, don't forget to hit that red subscribe button to get updates to your inbox weekly.